Hello everyone, I hope that you're doing well. I've had a couple of clients this week who are getting a flare up of their IBS symptoms. So I thought this week I would do a video on what to do to manage your IBS flare. So the number one tip that I would have is to use EAT to help with spasms. So during an attack, it may help to maybe use a hot water bottle and apply the heat on the abdomen or the area that is painful. The heat will help to gently relax the muscles and then reduce spasms and cramping. The second one would be maybe to run a warm bath in the evening time, add a bit of Epsom salts. So the warmth again will help the spasms, and the Epsom salts contain magnesium as well, which can help again with muscle cramping. Having a warm bath in the evening can also help with sleeping better, having a good night's sleep, which is always helpful. Another thing would be around supplements. So I can't recommend supplements outside of when I do consultations. And also some of you may be suffering from different type of IBS. However, generally speaking, studies are showing that peppermint oil can be helpful, digestive enzymes, probiotic. So if there are supplements that have helped in the past, it might be a good idea for you to reorder those and just use them for a little while. Also, if the pain is really bad, you might want to temporarily revert back to using some of the laxatives you've been using in the past. Buscopan maybe. I think maybe what I'm trying to say is don't stay in pain because pain will bring more pain. So just try to relieve the symptoms as quickly as you can. But again, just use those temporarily and alongside other recommendations, more natural approach to it. Flare-up tip number 2 would be around stress management. You may have all heard about the gut-brain axis. Your gut, some literature is now calling your gut the second brain. And the reason being is because there's a big nerve that goes from your gut to your brain, and 80% of messages are going from your gut to your brain. The rest, 20% goes from your brain to your gut. So you can appreciate that the extra anxiety is going on at the minute with the COVID-19, maybe pressure at financial pressure, etc., may affect your gut function. So there's also there's the so when you are in your parasympathetic system, this is called the rest and digest. And when you're more anxious, stressed, you go into the sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight. And when you're fighting, you can't rest and digest. So you can see how anxiety and stress may affect your digestion, and particularly if you're prone to IBS, because your gut will be more sensitive than maybe someone else. So there's several ways that you can use to bring back to get back to your parasympathetic system. And I'm very big fan of meditation and yoga. So there's a particular application that I like, which is called Calm. I think it costs about £34 for the year, and it kind of gives you every day a 10-minute meditation, and it's suggested, so it's there available for you to use, and it's really good. So you may want to consider this. Yoga classes, there's loads of yoga classes. Breathing has been shown in studies to really reduce cortisol, and that's what you want to do. Other things would be just go for a walk, get out, make sure you get out daily for at least 20 minutes to half an hour. This is really helpful. Maybe find something that brings you joy, if you like reading, drawing, anything like this, that kind of can bring down the nervous system. Tip number 3 would be around diet, obviously. So being at home, you may have had a tendency maybe to revert back to eating some of the food that may be triggers. So have a look at your trigger foods. So the most common one for IBS would be onion, garlic, coffee, chocolate, gluten, dairy, maybe beans. Maybe you've been overdoing the beans. I mean, these are readily available in the shop. They're a great source of protein, but maybe if you've got IBS, might be a good idea maybe for a week or so to kind of stop this sort of food. Go for food that are easy to digest, cooked food, soup, make light vegetable broth. Maybe in the evening eat lighter than what you've been doing, or the food may sit on your stomach and create inflammation. FODMAP, the iFODMAP food, I use it sometimes in clinic, not all the time. This is the iFODMAP diet. It's been shown over to kind of be helpful for a short period of time. So if you've got IBS symptoms, you might be familiar with FODMAP diet. If you're not, just try and Google it and look for FODMAP diet and look at certain, maybe the certain food that kind of can trigger some of your symptoms. If you don't know what is flaring up your system, your symptoms, maybe keep a food diary. Note the food that you're eating, maybe the symptoms that you're getting, the environment. Is it because you've had a stressful day? Maybe you're getting more of the symptoms. Maybe are you watching the news too much? I know I've been doing that too much and it's been affecting my sleep. So news is like once a day now. So just all this kind of thing, just document. It's easier than to pinpoint what is going on. Then tip number 5, I think, is to look after your digestion. So digestion is different from your microbiome. We all often talk about probiotic, prebiotic, but digestion is like the function of you absorbing and digesting the food, and eliminating the food as well. So the basics are just sit down when you're eating your food. Just chew your food. Chewing your food is really important. Help your body to break down food. So digestive juices can help to break down the food, but chewing as well. Be mindful of what you're eating and take your time. The final tip that I've got is I'm a big fan of restricted eating. So this means leaving, so keeping off the grass for a while, and just that may help to really bring down the inflammation in your body and in your digestive tract. So it would mean that leaving 12 hours between your dinner and your breakfast. So if you, for instance, if you're finishing your dinner at 7 o'clock, don't eat until 7 o'clock in the morning. So really be strict with it. So no little snacking at 8 or 9 o'clock when you're watching TV. So no more food for like 12 hours. Some of you may also be sleeping in a little bit longer, and so use that to your advantage. So if you're getting up at 8, 9 o'clock, that would mean that you would leave about 14 hours, which is even better. And this may really, really help to bring down inflammation. It's working quite well with some of my clients. So just to recap, pain management, eat, water, friendly teas, stress management, really important. Maybe consider getting calm, application, yoga, do something that is really calming down the nervous system. Less news, maybe just the news once a day. Diet, just go back to eliminating the food that you are, you're a little bit sensitive to. Be more strict for maybe a week or so, and just try and reintroduce again these foods. Look after your digestion, sit down, eat in a nice environment, maybe light up a candle, listen to music, and just help the process of digesting the food. And finally, time restricted eating, so leave at least 12 hours between your dinner and your breakfast. I hope you found this useful. You take care, and I'll speak to you again soon. Thank you.